to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where explosions hit a rally held by the M23 rebel group in the eastern city of Bukavu. At least 11 people were killed. Dozens more were injured by the blasts. The Rwanda-backed rebels have accused the Congolese authorities of carrying out the attack after they'd captured territory in recent fighting. The government denies this. For more details, we can cross to our senior reporter, Catherine Norris-Trent, who's currently in the capital of DRC, Kinshasa. Catherine, at this stage, it does remain unclear who carried out this attack.
Absolutely. So you have the Congolese government and the rebel coalition, which includes the M23, accusing each other of carrying out the attack. At this stage, it's not clear exactly who perpetrated it. We have eyewitnesses on the scene, several of them, talking about grenades being thrown at a convoy of the leader of the AFC, the Alliance Fleuve Congo. That is a rebel coalition of which the M23 armed group is a part. And just as that was leaving Independence Square in Bukavu, where thousands of people had been ordered to turn out and watch this rally, grenades were thrown seemingly towards the convoy. Now, they didn't it seems, injure many of the principal leaders. Some of the soldiers of the M23 were apparently injured. But then there was panic. Some eyewitnesses spoke about the shots being fired into the crowd. The M23 denies that. It's all very confusing. But then there was a second detonation. So someone I spoke to from the M23 said that two of the attackers had been killed and another one was on the run. They're actively searching for him. So we've got different versions of what happened from the government here in Kinshasa, which considers the AFC and the M23 to be terrorist organizations. And in fact, the president, Felix Tshisekedi, put out a message on social networks saying that this was an odious terrorist act carried out by foreign forces which had illegally entered onto Congolese territory. So at the moment, all we know, at least 11 deaths, according to hospital sources in Bukavu, and many, many more injured.
Now let's look at the humanitarian front as well. I mean, thousands of people have been killed in the fighting itself, but also US AID had been the largest single donor to the region, and with that funding abruptly stopped, there's been crisis talks there about how they will plug the gap. How much are we talking about?
Well, the UN, NGOs and the government are asking for international donors to come up with more than $2.5 billion. They launched a call for aid in Kinshasa yesterday. I mean, every year they ask for international aid. This is a country that depends on donations from the rest of the world because there are many, many displaced people, even not just in the east of the country, but elsewhere. There are diseases such as mpox, cholera, measles, which they need to treat, and there are cases of malnutrition and many, many other problems, including to do with clean water. Anyway, they're trying to come up with this money, and they didn't hide the fact that they are extremely worried because last year, for the aid budget in 2024, the United States was the biggest single donor, and it came up with around 70% of the humanitarian aid budget for the DRC. Well, this year, we know aid has been suspended, and I was speaking to a UN humanitarian coordinator here, and he said some programs had already stopped, including the delivery of medicines for HIV-positive people. They're extremely worried about how they're going to get aid to the people who most, well, especially in the east, with that ongoing conflict, which of course presents other complications, even if the funding was there.
Senior reporter Catherine Norris-Trent there in Kinshasa.